What's up, FOA squad? I'm Anthony, and welcome to our channel, Life with Anthony. I hope you guys are doing well out there. Happy Friday to you guys. Today, guys, I wanted to do a sit down and bring you guys up to date on some of the things that's going on in my life, some things that are coming up, and I also want to share with you guys about what my one and only 2024 goal is. And it's something that I'm going to probably have to work on throughout the course of the year, but hopefully I will get it done, and I'll talk a little bit about that in a few. But let me start off by saying, ever since I got back to the campground, I got back into my walking. Every time I'm away from the campground, I kind of rear off a little bit with the walking, mainly because I don't have that situated like route that I can walk. Yes, I can put the tracker on my waist and track my steps throughout the day, but it's so much different when I'm on the campground. I can get up early in the morning around 7 o'clock, get my walking out before it gets too hot outside. But this morning I did really well. I did 12,903 steps, and that's just from the walk. I will put this on my waist throughout the day, and hopefully I'll end up with maybe 14,000 steps for the day. So yes, I'm back into my morning walking. It takes me about almost 2 hours to get 12,000 steps. 12,000. I usually end up around 12,500, somewhere around there. Takes about almost 2 hours. I started at 7:30 this morning, and it was about 20 after 9 when I got back to the trailer and looked at my watch, or my cell phone, I should say. So it's a good, decent walk. So back into the walking. All right, so let me get into some of these updates on what's going on with me. I mentioned to you guys that on my way back from Baltimore to Florida, that I was going to stop at the dealership and pick up my tags and ask them while I was there about the furnace that's right now is just blowing out cool air. So I left the hotel and headed to the dealership. I stopped at the dealership, went in, told them that I was coming to pick up my tags. Mind you, I called them a week and a half prior of going on the Dubai trip. So they should have been expecting me to come by. So I stopped in and I told them that I'm here to pick up my tags. The guy took my name. He went in the back. He came back out, and he said that there were no tags there for me. I was a little confused because, once again, I called them a week and a half, and the woman at the front desk who answers the phones said that I can go to this particular building and pick up my tags. Now, she did not check to see whether the tags was there for me at the time. She just told me where to go to pick up the tags. I told her that I bought the trailer and picked it up on November the 28th. So in my head, I'm thinking that's a proper amount of time for the tags to either be delivered to you guys or to my address. So he came out and told me that there were no tags there. And again, I was a little confused. So I told him that my temporary tags expires January the 28th. Now, the good thing about that is I'm at a campground. I'll be at this campground until the end of March, so the trailer will not move. So I won't risk, being out on the highway or something and get pulled over by the police or something for tags that have expired. So he said that he couldn't even issue me right at that point, even temporary tags. So he said that he'll have somebody call me. In my mind, I'm thinking, okay, once I leave out this door, I'm heading to Florida. I will not be in Maryland. So he said that he would call me on Wednesday. This was on a Saturday that this was on a, was it Saturday? Yeah, this was on a Saturday that I left. And so he said he'll call me Wednesday of the upcoming Wednesday. So I didn't get a call on Wednesday. And so on Thursday, and so while I was there, I asked him, can I talk to a service person about the furnace because it was blowing cool air. So he sent me to another building, and where I guess the service secretary, or who, not secretary, but the woman that answers the take the, y'all know what I'm trying to say. Good gracious, why am I having a senior moment this early in the day? But yeah, and she said that the technician that knows my unit the best is not there yet, and that, so she took a very descriptive little, excuse me, thing on the email, or whatever she was typing it at, wherever, and she said that she'll have him call me. Now, here is the thing. For some reason, I don't know if I intentionally set this up on my phone or if that's the way it is on my phone, but if a number is not in my directory already and someone calls me, it goes directly to voicemail. So what I'm trying to say is I missed 2 of their calls because the phone did not ring. It went automatic to voicemail. So I was like, oh man. And I kept trying to figure out why I keep missing these calls and why the phone isn't ringing when the dealership called me back. Well, anyway, that's when I came up and figured it out. Okay, well, because I'm thinking, okay, everybody else, it seems like I get the ring. And then I figured it out and was like, okay, maybe it's because they are not in my directory. Long story short, or moving forward, I put them in my directory, so moving forward, I will not miss any of their calls. All right, so that is that. I wasn't able to get my tags. I wasn't able to get some help with the furnace. So fast forward 2 days later, I made my way back here to the campground in Florida, and I called them when I got here because remember, the guy was just not there yet. So I called them and asked them, the lady told her that, I'm at the trailer now, and if she can have the guy call me. So in the meantime, I'm waiting for the guy to call me. I decided to go and open up the panel so that if he could tell me or walk me through what might be wrong with the furnace, I will already have the panel off of the trailer. So I went outside and I took the panel off, and I just started looking around, moseying around, giving a second look at it and everything, because when I first opened it up and made the video, I was looking for the sail switch in particular, and I could not find the sail switch. And I'm almost beginning to think that this unit don't even have a sail switch. So I'm looking around, in there, just gently moving some wires out the way, seeing if I missed something. And lo and behold, right on the side, it was pushed in a little bit, was a reset button. I said, Jimmy crack corn. So I pressed the reset button down and then back, and then down and back again. I came inside of the trailer. I turned the furnace on, and lo and behold, it worked. The hot air came out. I was like, yes, yes, yes. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And this is why I'm thinking that this unit doesn't have, or may not have, a sail switch, because I didn't have to do anything related to a sail switch. I just clicked that reset button, and I still look really closely to see where that sail switch may be. And I just still, the second time around, couldn't find or, see where that sail switch could possibly be. But anyway, I went ahead and I was so happy I did not have to call them back. In the meantime, I called them back anyway, but not about the furnace, about the tags. So I called, I got an answer machine, I left a message, and then I got a text around 15 minutes after I left a message on the answer machine. I got a text from the dealership, from the woman who handles all the titles and everything, named Marlene. And she texted me and said that she sent me an email about the tags. I said, okay, I didn't see no email, because I'm one of those people that I be checking my emails every day. And so I went and looked in my mail, and there was an email. She sent the email that day, like a few hours before I text her. I left a message. And so the email said this. It said that basically it said she forgot to sign the papers to release the tags from MVA. And I'm like, well, alrighty there, Missy. What's going on here? So she never completed her end of the job, or she didn't do her job. Let's just say it bluntly. She didn't do her job. So she said it'll be about a week or so before the tags will be released. Now, and then I responded to the text and asked her, will the tags be coming to the dealership or my address? And she never responded back. So I'm going to call her in another couple days to get the answer to that, because I am going back to Baltimore on February the 14th. One of my good friends is getting married on February the 17th. And I'm not driving there. I decided that I would fly back there, because that whole Dubai, as great as vacations can be, they also can be very exhausting. And I had that long drive back to Florida, and I just don't feel like driving that far anytime soon. So I said I'll just go ahead and fly up and get a rental car and do all I have to do. And also during that time frame, I made a reservation, like I'm going somewhere. I made an appointment to get my taxes done. So I'll fly in on a Thursday. I'm driving up to PA on Friday to get my taxes done, do another whole little mail run type deal, and then come back to Baltimore. Then Saturday, the next day, I'll go to the wedding, and then Sunday, the next day, I'm flying back down to Florida and coming back to the campground. So I have it all mapped out, and hopefully everything will go as planned. So yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what my tax situation is this year. It's going to be quite interesting. It's going to definitely be different than the previous tax year. So it's also, there's another important reason why I can't wait to see what my tax situation is, and I'll talk about that in just a few minutes here. But anyway, that's the update on that part of the video that I wanted to bring you guys up to date, which was the tags. The furnace is now fixed, thank the goodness, and that's good. All right, so now I want to talk to you guys a little bit about what my one and only goal is for 2024. I'm pretty excited about it, but at the same time, I'm a little nervous about it. And that is to become a Florida resident. That is my number one and only goal for 2024, is to become a Florida resident. I know I played around with the idea of where I might want to be and where I want to live, this, that, and the other. I toyed around with the idea of the Carolinas and everything. But what it all came down to is I spend a lot of time in between Florida and Georgia anyway, and it's just a couple of benefits of, trying to become a Florida resident. Now, the way that I am going to become, or try to become, a Florida resident this way is not through the domicile route. I know a lot of van dwellers, or many, I should say, I don't know if it's a lot, but many van dwellers do a state domicile, but that would not work for me. And I don't know much about the ins and out of a domicile, but from what I've learned, that particular route would not work for me. And the reason why it would not work for me is because I'm not looking for just an address, or looking just to have an address in Florida. I'm looking to have a place to be, a place to go to in Florida. Hence, a big part of my becoming a Florida resident is to purchase a piece of land here in Florida. I have been in the past week or so, maybe 2 weeks, I would say, looking at different pieces of properties before I actually contact someone to actually start going out and looking at some properties. But I definitely have made up my mind that Florida is where I would like to have my little place that I can go to and be when I don't want to be on campgrounds and that type of deal. Now, what else? One of the things, I guess, one of the biggest benefits of trying to become a Florida resident is the tax situation. They do not have state taxes, they have only federal taxes. And when you look at that from my line of work, so to speak, being a YouTuber and not having to pay state taxes, it would be just great for me. You know, that's just more of my earnings that I can keep to myself, and that's always a good thing. So that it too is along with I spend a lot of time down this way anyway. All right, so what is next for me in terms of trying to get the ball rolling on becoming a Florida resident? First and foremost, I will not take any actions. I will not be taking any actions towards purchasing any land until after I find out what my tax situation is. And I will once again find out what my tax situation is on February the 16th when I go and get my taxes. Once that is established and I learn what my financial situation is going to be after my tax situation, because you never know what your tax situation is going to end up being when you are a YouTuber. We just don't know. However, I do know that my tax situation should be better than the previous years because I have been paying my taxes quarterly for the entire year. So that should definitely help me out with this year's taxes as well. And also, I have so much more write-offs this year. This year, I kept a whole year of write-offs, everything from my oil changes, everything from the campground stays, everything from my gas slips, everything from my mileage. I bought a few things during last year, like my minivan kit. I'm going to see if I can get that put on there as well. And I just have so many different things that hopefully I will be able to write off, and that too will help my tax situations in terms of how much money I may owe or have to pay for taxes. I do also expect that my quarterly taxes will increase this upcoming year, so I'm prepared for that as well. But I was wondering also, is it mandatory that when you're self-employed that you have to pay quarterly taxes? Because y'all know that first year I didn't do it. I just was saving 30% of all of my earnings every month, and I did really well with that. If you can recall, I actually saved a little bit more than what was needed. So I think I will always continue to do the quarterly taxes anyway. And I think this year is going to give me a really good, this year filing taxes is going to give me a really, really good idea of where my norm is going to be, so to speak. I think that once I get the new quarterly taxes amount and start paying them throughout this year, next year I'm guessing that I'm going to owe very, very little, if anything, when it comes to filing taxes next year. All right, so let's get back into this land, and I want to talk to you guys a little bit about what type of land I'm looking for, the purpose, what's going to be the purpose of this land. Now, you know how some people say that when they buy a home, that's not going to be their forever home, or it's going to be a starter home of theirs or whatever. That's how I feel about this piece of land that I'm looking to purchase to become a resident in Florida. It's not going to be my forever piece of land. It's going to be my for now land, just so that I can become a resident of Florida and have an address that allows me to put on my driver's license. I did read up that in order to become a Florida resident, that you have to live there or be here for 183 days, which is basically 6 months plus 1 day. So I also looked up, well, how would you prove that you have been there for 183 days? And basically they said through a driver's license is one of the ways. And then also, if and when I get a piece of property, the purchase date of that property and the paperwork also. Another thing that I looked up is, can you use a vacant lot of some sort as your address? And from what I gathered and information I got, you can, as long as you are paying property taxes for that piece of land. And I don't know any place that you're not going to be paying property taxes. So I will be paying property taxes on that. So that's a good thing as well. So I've been doing some research. I'm quite sure that there's a lot that I still do not know, and a lot that I still have to learn. But I think that I do have a good start on, getting me going in the right direction. I'm also looking forward to hearing what some of you guys think. I don't mean about the land purchase or whatever. I mean in terms of if you guys know anything, especially Florida residents, that can help me out and, steer me in the right direction. I think what the direction that I'm going is, it's not complicated. It should not be complicated, at least in my head. It should not be complicated. All right, so the type of land I'm looking for is undeveloped land. It's called unimproved land. And unimproved land usually doesn't have sewage, doesn't have electric, doesn't have water. Sometimes they tend to not even be off a main road of some sort. Okay, excuse me for that, but that's how the body works. But so that's the type of land that I'm looking for. I found that I was on Zillow. There is a lot of choices in the area that I'm looking to be, and the right price. The right price. I don't want to spend a whole lot of money. Now let me talk to you guys about what it is I want this land and how I'm going to use this land. This piece of land is going to be nothing more than a stopping point for me, a resting point for me. Right now, I have to be somewhere. Right now, I'm paying for campgrounds throughout the entire year because I have nowhere else to go. And nowhere else to go. So, this piece of land, I guess the number one thing is to allow me, once again, to become a Florida resident. But as far as the use of the land, my only intentions for this land is to use it as a resting point when I want to break from paying to be at a campground. So I will be at this property probably 1 to 2 months at a time, or until I get antsy and ready to move on and go. I will still be continuing going to my campgrounds and lining my campgrounds up. However, I probably will not be staying as long as now, since that I have some place that I can go back to. I will have some place that I can go back to and take a little break. Now, I know that for some of you out there, you might think, well, why would you buy undeveloped land? How are you going to do this on that land when you are there? How are you going to whatever? That's when I'm going to just put this trailer to its full potential. That's when I'm just going to, fill up my fresh water tank. That's when I'm going to be using my portable waste container that they about this big. They're huge, and you just sit it outside of your trailer, and you connect your sewage hose to that, as opposed to the sewage hose on a campground to the ground. And also, I probably will be investing in solar panels. So when I'm on this property, I will be using solar panel to help, keep everything charged up and usable. And even if it's not that, which it will be, I can always start my van up and charge up the battery if it comes down to that. So because I don't plan on being on this land for no more than 2 months at a time, I think that I can get away with just using everything that the trailer has to offer. The biggest thing is the electric, and making sure that I keep everything powered so that the refrigerator can keep running. And again, that's when I plan on getting solar panels and hooking up the solar panels and everything. So even if it means that instead of using my fridge here, I'll use my fridge in my van, if whichever one is least power. The area that I'm looking for, also, they have several dump stations around. I did research that so that I will know that I have a place to, when I need to empty out my tanks and everything, that there's a nearby place that I can easily go to and take care of that. So I have it in my mind how it's all going to work out. Whether it goes that way smoothly or not, some bumps along the road, I have to see. But that is my plan. Now, the size of the land, I don't want anything more or less than what I'm about to show you guys. I showed you guys this picture last year when I took this picture at Hillside Campground. This is exactly how or what I need land to do with some land. Take a look at this picture right here, this photo. All right, this is what I want to do. I want to build a deck, and I want to be able to just pull my trailer up to that deck whenever I'm there, and set up shop right like this, like you see in this photo. This is my ideal setup, and I really, really like this setup. Again, this is just for me to take a break from being at campgrounds. So yeah, I think that is absolutely perfect right there. That would be the ideal setup for me. If by chance I have enough space to maybe put a water tank there or something like Kathy has on her property, but that thing is huge, so I don't think that I'm going to get a property that size that to accommodate that. But maybe they come in different sizes. I don't know. I'll have to look into it. And who knows, maybe once I start talking to someone and going out and looking at properties, maybe I'll see something that has electric, sewage, and all the other amenities. Who knows? But I do know, starting off in my head, the basics that I need is just the right size land and the right price for the land. Because again, the only thing I'm doing is putting the deck there. I already have my travel trailer home. I can just pull up to it and be done. So that's my 2024 goal, is to purchase a piece of property and become a Florida resident this year. I am going up north at the end of May. I'm heading north. I've already have a campground set up up north in Ohio. I went to that campground before. I like the campground. So I will be at that campground so far from June the 1st to after 4th of July. And then once I can make my reservations for my campground that I like best up north, which is Hillside in PA, on February 25th, I would try to book that from after 4th of July till maybe the end of August, if a spot is available for me to do that. And that would pretty much take care of my being up north. And then September, I'll just come back down, make my way back down south and start staying at some of the campgrounds there, or start working on getting things more situated with the property and everything so that I can probably take a break. But that is my plan, guys. I really like it. If you have any ideas, if you have any knowledge about purchasing land, I know a lot of you are going to be thrown off or about the idea of buying unimproved land or land that doesn't have this and doesn't have that, you know. But I think for me, once again, my purpose and my use of this land, I think that it will be okay. I think it will be fine. But anyway, that is it for today's video. I just wanted to bring you guys up to date and let you guys know what I'm going to be working on for this year, 2024. And before I let you guys go, I feel like I don't verbally say this to the joint FOAs. I know that I have your names at the end of every video, but I sometimes think to myself, I should verbally thank those of you who are joint FOAs for the extra support of me and the extra support of allowing me again to live this lifestyle. I really appreciate those that extra support that those joint FOAs out there are a part of. And don't think that I don't think, you know, I just always sometimes like, man, I should really say thank you to the joint members. I know I have their names at the end of the videos, but thank you. I really appreciate the extra support. I am working on updating the list of joint members because a lot of those people are no longer joint members. So I'm working on updating the list to the current member joint FOAs. So with that being said, thank you guys for taking a few minutes out of your day to watch my videos. I appreciate you guys. You know that. And I'll see you guys the next time. Go Ravens! Go Ravens. All right, come on, Ravens. One more game and we in the Super Bowl. Let's do it. Let's do it. All right, guys.